Almost 20 years ago, I had a wake-up call. I realized that my investments were funding the very things that concern me the most: oil and gas expansion, deforestation, and gun manufacturing. And in that moment, I made a decision. I was going to invest my money, all of it, starting with my cash, in ways that aligned with my values. And I turned to financial advisors to help me, but they weren't doing it. So, about 7 years ago, I took my money back and discovered something really powerful and important. It was completely achievable to do what I wanted to do. And I discovered that women and younger people want to invest their money in ways that align with their values, but no one was guiding them on how to do it. That's why I wrote Activate Your Money, a step by step guide to becoming a confident investor while putting your money to work for the things that you believe in. I wrote the book for women, primarily because we've been left out of this conversation for such a long time. Most investment books written for people are by men, written for men. Even some of the books that are written for women were written by men. And I thought it was time to change that because women think about their money differently. Activate Your Money is unlike anything else out there. So if you want to understand investing and how to make it work for you and for the planet, get your copy today. What is the biggest challenge in providing investment education? Far too many women don't see themselves as investors. They believe that that's the realm of someone with far more money than they have. But if you have a bank account, you're an investor. Somebody is using your money to some end. If you have a retirement account, you are an investor. This is not the realm for the rich. This is actually something that many of us do. We just don't see ourselves that way. And that is a really important thing to realize. The other important thing to realize is you are never too young or never too old to get started. For example, if you're young, if you are 20 years old and you start putting $100 a month into an investment and you do that for 10 years and stop, 40 years later, 35 years later, when you're 65, you will actually have more money than someone who starts investing $100 a month every month for 30 years and stops after 30 years. And the reason for that is because of compound interest and the fact that when you invest your money and it makes a little bit money, the next time your money is now that additional capital is also growing. And then as that grows, the additional capital also grows. And that process of compound interest actually accelerates the more money you have in an investment and results in this. What's the biggest challenge in providing investment education? Far too many women don't see themselves as investors. They believe that the realm of investing is for somebody who has more money than them. But if you have a bank account, you're an investor. If you have a 401k or retirement account, you are an investor. You just might not see yourself that way. And that's a thing that you probably want to change. You're never too young and you're never too old to become an investor. Let's talk about being young. If you're 20 years old and you start investing $100 a month every month for 10 years and then stop, by the time you're 65, you will actually have more money than someone who started investing $100 a month every month at the age of 30 and continued doing that for 30 years and then stopped. The reason the 20-year-old with 10 years of investing will have more money than the 30-year-old with 30 years of investing is because of something called compound interest. If you don't know what that means, that's okay. A lot of people don't. That's why I wrote Activate Your Money. You can learn all the terms of financial investing and become a much more confident person around your money. And you can learn how to put your money to work for not only your own life and your own wealth, but also to make the world a better place. Please get your copy today. What kinds of educational or policy initiatives could encourage women to transition more of their assets from savings to investments? Most of us want to be financially free and independent, but we don't know how to achieve that goal. And it's not surprising because we haven't been taught. In fact, women have been left out of this conversation for far too long, and that needs to change. I was lucky. When I was young, my mother got tired of being poor and doing without. So she taught herself how to invest in real estate and the stock market. And I was able to learn alongside her. And that has made all the difference. So I think education is key. And I think it's important to start in school. If students can start to learn basic financial literacy, things like budgeting and savings and investment as well, it will change everything for them. Managing our money and feeling confidence around our investments is a basic life skill. Activate Your Money was written to help you gain the knowledge you need to be a confident investor. It's a great place to start. Get your copy today. Why do you think it's important for women to talk about money and investments? At some point in our lives, most of us are going to be alone, whether that's because we're waiting longer to get married, or because we'll go into a divorce, or because we'll outlive our partner or spouse. There will be a time when we need to be responsible for our own money. And you don't want that to happen when you're in already a traumatic situation. I've seen far too many women who are going through the emotional turmoil of divorce and have to start figuring out their finances. It often leaves them with the short end of the stick. Or women who are happily married and suddenly lose a spouse only to realize they don't know anything about their financial situation. These are not the times to learn. Be proactive. Start learning now. Talk to your family about money. Start educating yourself. Activate Your Money is a great foundational book for you to not only think about how to become a strong, confident investor, but also how to invest your money in ways that build the world that you want to see. What's the difference between men and women when it comes to investing? We're often told that women are risk averse, but that's not really true. We're risk aware. We want to understand the risks we're taking before we take them. This is a little bit different than men who tend to be a little bit more competitive, a little bit more willing to shoot from the hip, a little bit more willing to edge toward gambling. When men invest, generally speaking, they invest in individual companies in the stock market. But when women invest, they generally choose stock funds. And men are more likely to buy and sell more frequently, whereas women will hold longer. Interestingly enough, it turns out that women's strategy actually results in higher returns than men's strategy. So, ladies, if you think that you can't be as good an investor as men, think again. Start building your knowledge now so that you can have the financial freedom and the financial life you want. Activate Your Money is a great tool to help you along your way. Get your copy today. What holds women back when it comes to investing? Two of the biggest challenges women face around investing are a lack of confidence and a lack of time. We don't believe that we're good investors. And so as a result, we either don't do anything, ignoring our money, or we give it to somebody else to manage for us, including our spouse. But what that does is a couple of things. First, we are leaving our power on the table because we are not making the decisions about what those investments do. And the second thing we're doing is we're not really moving toward true financial independence. Even when women understand this, however, they run into the challenge of time. We're busy. We have jobs, children, possibly elder care, friends, family, so many things we're juggling. How can we possibly find the time to worry about our money? But we need to. So we can start by reading, by talking to our friends, by breaking the taboo around money. We can take one small step at a time. Activate Your Money was written in part for women to use in groups. The last chapter actually teaches you how to start an investment club with your friends, family, or associates. If you start doing that and tackle one chapter at a time, at the end of the year, you will be more confident, you will have more knowledge about how investing works, and you will be well on your way to building your wealth and putting your money to work in a way that makes the world a better place for all of us. Be sure to get your copy now and think about starting your own club. It's actually really fun. Is there a difference between the way younger and older generations invest? There's a significant difference between the way younger and older people invest and learn about investing. Older people tended to have a more passive approach to their money. They invested through pensions or in low risk bonds or retirement accounts. Younger people, on the other hand, are looking to technology. They're learning about finance through websites, social media, finance influencers, and other new and innovative forms of information gathering. They have a more hands on approach to what they're doing. They're connecting with their banks digitally, they're using apps to track their spending, and they're just looking at everything in a very different way. They're also investing in more innovative types of strategies. Some are looking at cryptocurrency, others are looking at real estate, or other types of investments that they can now do online. So it's a very, very different world. However, it is a very dispersed world. Activate Your Money was written to consolidate information about investing all in one place. It's a wonderful companion to any other type of learning and investing that you're doing. And it's a great reference guide to go back to again and again. Be sure to get your copy today and help solidify your foundational financial knowledge. What three things make Activate Your Money different than any other book in the market? Activate Your Money is very unique in the market, and there are three important reasons why. First, the book was written for women, and it goes beyond just one aspect of investing. It actually looks at the whole spectrum of investing. So it starts with the cash. It talks about our bonds, our stock market investments, and it also introduces women to angel and venture investing. And then it even talks about real estate and agriculture and other forms of investing. Many of these things are important, particularly as our wealth grows, because we want to diversify our portfolios. The second thing that makes it really different is it not only looks at how we invest, it looks at the impact that our money is having in the world and makes suggestions about ways that we can consciously choose investments that support the things that we care about. Things like helping our families and our communities, ensuring that we're creating a safe and sustainable world for our children and our grandchildren, uplifting other women. Where we put our money really matters, and Invest for Better helps us think about that in a really informed and conscious way. And third, it helps us move to action. Every chapter of the book ends with a take action section, and that take action section is tied to a website where you can access freely downloadable tools, spreadsheets, documents, and the other things that you need to do and take the actions that are recommended in the book. So get your copy of Activate Your Money today and start learning how you can be not only a confident investor who is growing her own wealth, but also somebody who is using her money to change the world for better.